Okay, so I'm going to show you the correct way to do it. We've got this one where it stretches across here. This may seem a little complex. I promise you though, when you get the hang of it, you start to feel like, oh, I can understand how to texture now. So I'm going to go a little bit quick, but I'll be around to help you guys. There's not a lot of you Unreal guys out there, but I'll be around to help you guys if you need it. So what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm going to select these faces. I'm going to shift select all of them. Okay, like that. And I'm going to right click and assign existing material. And I'll assign that strap material. Once again, we have this where it's not mapping correctly. So I'll go UV and planar, put a planar projection. It's mapping correctly here, but not along the top. So now I'm going to actually cut so now I'm actually going to cut all these polys out. I'm not going to actually cut the polygons though, I'm going to cut the UVs. So I'm going to go into edge mode here, and I'm going to shift, double click, and make sure I select the edges all the way around where I'm trying to texture, make sure I get that one right there. And now we're going to go into the UV editor, so Windows, Modeling Editors, UV Editor. And if you don't have this UV toolkit, maybe it's off to the side here, you can just grab it and dock it. It's definitely a useful tool that we'll be using. And I'm going to actually hit this cut button right here. It's under this cut, and so we'll go cut, and then I'm going to do something called unfolding it. So I'm going to unfold it there. You can see it's this big, long deal here. And you may not have isolate selected on. You may have all this other stuff going on in the background when you open up the UV editor. So I hit that isolate selection button. Now I'm going to right click, go to UV and UV shell, and I can select this shell right here. That's the one we want to be working on. I need to scale it into place so that it all fits right on my texture. So how do I do that? Well, I can use the scale tools and all that, and move tools. So I can scale it way down here. But you can see everything's all goofy and wonky right here, right? So I need to go into point mode here. First let me scale it back out. I'll go back to object mode. I'll scale it out here, or scale it down somewhat, and I'll rotate it somewhat so that I can go to point mode and grab all these points on this side of it, and I want to move them out here. Then I want to scale them all the way back so that they're straight. Same thing on this side. I want to grab these points, scale them out so that they're straight, and then I want to just move everything into place neatly like that. And I can take the whole object down, scale it back into place, move it into place, right? And you can see there's a problem here. We've got the stretching going all the way along the object now, as opposed to what it was before. And it looked like we accidentally grabbed this one over here as well. So we may have to go back and mod that. But just check out the one we're working on right now here. Looks like we accidentally grabbed it in here somehow while we were working on our main UV object here. So I'll select UV shell. Make sure I have just this one in here. I'm going to move this one, whatever's in here, out. I'll just grab all this stuff and move it out of the way. Go back to this UV shell because this is the one we're working on. And once again, it's a good thing to go through that twice so you can kind of see how I did it. I'm scaling up the object. I go to these points mode. I scale them in so that they're all straight. Same with this side. Scale them in so they're all straight. And then I can go and kind of move it back into position like that. I'll move these points down so they're straight as well. We want everything nice and uniform for this. Grab this side, nice and uniform. Okay, and we can take the whole thing, scale it up like that, move it just like that. Okay, and like you can see here, we have all these stretched marks here. That's okay, and we messed up this other one here. But right here, how do we fix that? We have to actually go into the material. So if I go into this material here and I go to place 2D texture, what I want to do is actually I want to repeat the UVs over here in the y-axis. So I think we'll try something like 5. I'll hit enter. See how it really makes this look ugly. But when we go back to our object, then we have no stretching. Okay? So it looks like the strap goes all the way across. Now this is kind of a long tutorial, and I know this is fairly complex. So in the next tutorial, we'll go ahead and do that same process over here. That way you can get some practice and repetition, because I know that was a fairly complex operation, what we did there, and we'll get this thing looking good in no time. I'll see you then.